What's going on, guys? Teen Mechanic here. I just thought I should make this video today as a kind of an update. I haven't uploaded in like 6 or 7 days, and that's because I've been trying to kind of work some things out in the sidelines, and I've also been waiting on parts for this thing over here. And unfortunately, due to of course, the snowstorms in the south, there's been some issues getting it here. So honestly, I'm not sure when that's going to be here. Although there's still a couple of things I can probably do without that. And if you're wondering why it's not off of the trailer, that's because I can't get it running. More on that later. I mean, there's just there's a huge vacuum leak without that brake booster in there. Hint, hint. And yeah, it's just it's not doing so well. Sorry if there's any wind noise. There's lots and lots of wind today. But anyway, I thought since an update would be kind of boring, I figured I may as well give you well, an update anyway on the truck. I washed it yesterday, and if those run marks are from clearing up those headlights. This one especially was real bad. I'm just going to get a new one because I don't really care. This is from the pressure washer because this paint is all bubbling because of that shroud that was there. So, you know, that shroud broke, so I figured I may as well just take it off. But anyway, aside from that, this truck looks pretty good. There's one issue with it now, though, and that's right here. So you see how this is nice and clear and shiny, right? Pay attention to the reflection here now. It's terrible. This is all clear coat, and it's not good clear coat, as you can see. There were some real bad scratches there, and the sanding, the clear coat wasn't done properly, so I'm going to have to get that sanded off and then re-clear coat it. That looks real bad, but I washed it yesterday, and it does look a lot better than it did. But you know, I'm not sure exactly what to do with this truck. I want to keep it and I want to sell it. Although if I kept it, I'd have to fix those cam phasers, and if I did, that would set me back about $1,000. I don't know, almost $1,100 if I did that all myself. And yes, I'd use all the original Ford parts. So anyway, I'll go ahead and pop the hood here. It smells good in there, at least. That's nice. But this mirror's real bad. Like every time someone looks at the truck, they're complaining. But anyway, here's that dreaded 5.4, and the cam phaser on the passenger bank is bad. It's not bad. You can hear the clacking, like the diesel noise, and that's because of the locking pin. You know what? I haven't really talked all that much about the cam phaser, so maybe let's do that now. Okay, so I hope you guys can hear me. This Ford F-150, if you know your Fords, you know that the cam phasers go bad on these. Now, I've had probably 10-ish people come to look at this truck so far, and each time I've heard them say, oh, well, it could last 10 years or it could blow up tomorrow, and that's not true at all. Like, I'm tired of hearing it, and I'm never going to stop hearing it, but I'm tired of hearing it. Anyway, what happens is the cam phasers develop this knock, and everybody gets so scared of it. And the reason that happens is because the oil pumps in these Ford F-150's and the 5.4s, they're not adequate. They don't supply enough pressure or volume to the intricate engine components that Ford was experimenting with back in 2004. And because of that, all those intricate VCT solenoids and cam phasers and variable valve timing components would go bad or not get enough oil to them because A, they recommended 5W20, which is a thick conventional oil, and the oil pump wasn't adequate, so it wouldn't get that 5W20 out far enough, and then it would cause all the certain areas of certain components to run dry. So in turn, what would happen is there's something called a locking pin inside of that cam phaser, and it's just this little metal pin, and they call it a locking pin. It sits inside a chamber, and if there's not enough oil pressure there, and I'm kind of simplifying this, if there's not enough oil pressure there going to that locking pin, then it runs dry and kind of shaves away at that metal, and it runs into a clearance issue, so then it kind of rattles around in there and creates that duck, 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 duck noise, and it's a diesel noise. So then what happens is people get all worried about that, and honestly, I've had so many people just like who think they know what they're doing, who get their friend who knows more about cars than they do to come try and talk me down and say, oh yeah, whoa, it's going to blow up. And I look at them and I go, and how many of these timing jobs have you done? So anyway, the thing is, these cam phasers, they're bad when the engine starts chugging and misfiring and running like crap. That's when they're bad, because cam phasers, the Ford cam phasers anyway, I haven't really seen a Ford brand OEM Ford cam phaser come apart. I've seen them fail, but I've never ever seen them come apart. And by that I mean the variable valve timing sprocket on the front, or whatchamacallit, the sprocket is what the chain runs off of, and the little I can't think of the name right now. The little spidery looking thing on the front of it. I can't think of what it is. Anyway, that thing will blow apart, and it will ruin the camshaft and ruin the phaser and ruin the timing cover and timing components, and even destroy your engine if the sprocket comes off of the or if the timing chain skips, or if the timing chain comes off, or whatever. This is an interference engine, so the pistons will hit the valves and it will blow up the engine. But I've only seen that with Dormans and Freedom Racing cam phasers. I've never seen that with a Ford cam phaser. If you are replacing these cam phasers, please use Ford brand cam phasers. Timing chains, you can get away with not replacing those. Timing guides, look at the condition. Most of the time you should. I've noticed that Cloy's is okay, and Ford. Those are the only two that I'd really go with. There are a couple that are terrible and they'll snap, and then you'll get the timing chain slap. The other thing is tensioners. Most people, like what happened with this truck, is the cam phasers failed, and what happened was the previous owner decided that he would go, or not who I bought it from, sorry, the guy who owned it before the guy I bought it from. He had them replaced, and he decided that he would just get the phasers done, because it's only like $700 to get the phasers done. To get the whole phasers, timing chain guides, tensioner arms, tensioners, and the oil pump done, it's upwards of $2,000. So of course most people just go, okay, no, just do the phasers. So when you do that, they're going to go bad again, because the oil pump doesn't supply enough pressure or volume, and most people don't know that. So when you replace those phasers, a lot of people there's this thing that the nickname is the cheese wedge, and you put it, it's a little special block of a certain kind of plastic, and it's malleable, but you jam it inside the timing cover. It holds the chains in place and keeps the tension, so you can take the phaser off and have the chain off, and it would be held tension down here, and up here it would be all loose, so you could put the new phaser in. And a lot of people just do that, and all you have to do is take the valve covers off. In most cases, though, they're gonna go bad again. So it's a terrible idea to do that. So with the oil pump, what you want to do there is Melling. They're a brand of aftermarket. They're a manufacturer, part manufacturer, and they specialize in aftermarket. But Melling is the brand. Melling. They make an oil pump for this truck. They found a way to make it have 20% higher volume and pressure. And if you can do that, then it supplies just enough for the intricate engine components. So if you get a Melling oil pump, which is stupid if you don't, because they're less than $200 to make your engine run probably forever. So I mean, the thing is, if you got a Melling oil pump, then you're set. And if you leave the stock Ford one in, it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous idea. But anyway, aside from that, now that I've kind of cleared up everything with these phaser issues and what the story is with them, I just hate it when people say that it's gonna blow up, or my buddy had one blow up on him, and it's just like they don't know what they're talking about. They just don't know what they're talking about. They're scared of them, or they try to get a good deal because of it, and they don't know what they're doing, and it really bothers me. But that's no big deal. Anyway, aside from that, I'm thinking with this truck, there's a 2012 Ford F-150 crew cab. It was a Super Crew. It was I don't think it was a Lariat, but it was a high trim level. Anyway, I think it was an XLT. So it had the 5.0 V8. This has the 5.4. So it had the 5.0, and then I was thinking that I could go there and put that 5.0 in this thing, and then have a 5.0 instead of a 5.4. That right there, I mean, people would be like, are there any cam phaser issues? And I would say no, and they would think I don't know what I'm talking about. Although I'd put in the ad, most people don't read the ad, which is ridiculous, but I'd put in the ad 5.0, and then I would justify, or I'd specify, and I'd say, yes, a 5.0, not a 5.4. I swapped it, and that could be a deterrent or the opposite, quite frankly. I mean, people might like it or hate it. So if I put a 5.0 in this thing, that might actually help it. The other thing I was thinking of doing is I had a green Ford Crown Victoria, 1993 green Ford Crown Victoria, and I don't think it was ever featured on this channel, but I took the engine out of it. Oh yeah, I told you about it in that update video, but I had that green one, and I took the engine out of it because it had 260,000 kilometers, something like that. So I took the engine and transmission out of it. These F-150's were sold new with 4.6s, although they were the later ones from later Crown Vics. But the block bolt pattern was the same, so you could bolt it up into this thing and it would fit. Like, just put it in, it would fit. So I wonder if I could get away with putting that 4.6 in here. Yes, it's a 93. Ideally, what you'd want to do is put a 2006 or even a 1990. You could do a 1996 and onward 4.6. Like in my 1997, I had that 4.6, and it was the newer one with the plastic manifold and whatever. So ideally, you'd put that in there, but I think that it's exactly the same if you just put it in this, and I think that's what I'll do. Now, the transmission that's on that old 93 engine, I'm not messing with that. I think it's a 4-speed. I don't think it's a 4R70W. I know that came later. I don't think it is. But anyway, what is this? A 4R75W, I believe, is in this. Or is it a 4R70E or something? 4R75W, I think, is what's in this, or 4R75. If I took that transmission out of this and took the engine out and then put that transmission on that 4.6, I mean, that right there, the bell housing bolt patterns are exactly the same. So theoretically, I could just have a 4.6 with this transmission in it. Yes, these transmissions have those solenoids go out all the time, but I don't care because that's easy to fix. Anyway, aside from that, I think those are two good options, the 5.0 or the 4.6. I'll go see if that 5.0 is still there. I'm 96% sure it won't be, because that 2012 was schmucked up a little bit in the front and mostly in the back. So when people see that at the junkyard, they snatch it up right away. So if it's there, it's probably missing a bunch of pieces, manifolds, heads, who knows. And if it's not there, then it's not there. But maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe I'll find it. That would be great. But anyway, aside from that, we'll go ahead and start this thing up now, let it idle for a bit, and then I'll show you that cam phaser noise. Okay, here we go. Hope you could hear that okay. Anyway, so I'll just let it idle here for a bit until it gets quarter way up, and then I'll show you that noise. But it runs well, it starts well, and the heat works well, the heated seats work well, four-wheel drive works well, park, reverse, neutral, drive, 2, 1, that all works well, overdrive, off works, and everything actually works, which is real nice. Radio works nice. I put this auxiliary cord in it. If you're wondering what this is here, this is an auxiliary cord, and it is just plugged right into the back of the radio. In fact, you can do it with your hands if you just reach under here, right under there, and pop this trim off. It just goes up under here. This is pretty much flat, so it just comes off as one flat piece, and then right here it just runs behind the radio and plugs right into it because it's aftermarket. But I'm not actually a huge fan of this aftermarket radio. It's kind of old and it's seen better days, but that's no big deal. Anyway, this here is good if you want to listen to your own music, but yeah, I'm just going to let this thing idle. Alright guys, I've been waiting quite some time, and probably 10 minutes actually, so not that long, but we'll see here, see if you can kind of start to hear a diesel noise. It's not really there yet. I have to wait till it's at operating temperature. But it's definitely there. It's definitely a clacky. Oh, now I hear it. I hear that, which is that noise. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and close out this video. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. Let me know down in the comment section below how I can improve. And stay tuned for that Monaco, because I'm interested to see what happens with that. I can't sell it, but I'm waiting for that part in the mail, and it hasn't come. And we'll see when it does. But anyway, if you're interested to see something that happens with this engine, let me know as well. And yeah, other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.